Flames are going to move into midweek action for Conference USA for the next couple of weeks. Before we go into the UTEP game, just give us your final thoughts on ODU.
Obviously we were disappointed in the outcome. I was not disappointed in the fight of the team and how we gave ourselves a chance to win that game. Obviously, I thought ODU's got a good team. Obviously, the weather was challenging as well. We're there in the fourth quarter, down 7 with an opportunity to go and tie it up. I thought our defense played really, really well, getting some turnovers for us. We put them in some bad situations, and they kept fighting there. So I thought they did a really good job. Just cannot consistently move the ball offensively, which has killed us the last 2-3 weeks, and then our kicking game as well, where we had some opportunities to get some points. But we can, when we clean those things up and we play with the same intensity and the effort and the joy that our guys played with last week, we're going to get better. And so I think that's our focus as we move forward. We're in the conference play, and what's happened in the past is the past. You got to let that go. You learn from it, but you let it go, and now you move forward, and hopefully the things that you need to correct, you got an opportunity here with a couple extra days to get those things corrected, get them fixed, and play the way in all 3 phases, what we believe we have in our locker room and the belief we have in our players. Hopefully we can play to that level.
Looking back at the offense, what are some things that you saw that maybe are correctable, or some things that you can look to try to change as you move forward?
Well, I mean, you can correct the turnovers, right? We had 2 fumbles. Just one of the fumbles was we had a missed block on the perimeter. A guy drills us. We had another fumble that you can't happen, and then we threw just a terrible pass, and so those 3 are all correctable stuff. The turnover things to me are correctable, but we got to take ownership. The people that are doing it got to take ownership of it. It's got to be vital, important to them from that standpoint. And then from a standpoint of we've got to look at what we're doing from a schematic standpoint. Are we putting our players in the best positions that suits their skill sets? We looked at that these last couple of days as far as what do we have to do to maximize the talent that we do have, and then thirdly, we've had some injuries and different things up front, and you've got guys playing positions, and hopefully get some guys back. Maybe we move that around a little bit to put some guys in some better positions where they're maybe more comfortable in some of the things they're doing. And so we've evaluated all that and stuff. But at the end of the day, that 2 things. One, we have to do a better job coaching offensively and put our guys in better position. Secondly, our best players on offense, they got to play better. At the end of the day, they got to play better. I think we got some good players and some guys. Whether they're putting too much pressure on themselves, whether they've lost some confidence, you got to let all that go, and they got to be able to play to a level that they're capable of. We're not as bad as what we've put out there the last 2 or 3 weeks, but that's what we are. I don't think we're that bad. I think we've got capable people there to in all phases, coaching and our offensive players, and we just got to play to a better level. And so, hopefully you get a quarterback back if we can come back. I think our backup quarterbacks have battled the last couple of weeks, but there's some things they could have done better. But hopefully if we get Vasco back and he's healthy, that gives us a little jump start as well.
Are you optimistic on him?
That'll be 17 days before he plays from the injury or re-injury, I guess. And so one thing about him, he would have played last week. I mean, if he could, he would have played last week. I mean, he wanted to play. I think he told somebody he was playing. So if there's any way for him to play, he'll play. And so we got to make sure that we can try to get him as healthy as possible. I don't know if he'll ever be throughout the season, get back to where he's 100%. He'll have to play through some pain and stuff, but our plan is, hopefully that if everything continues to go well, that he will play.
You mentioned play calling on a couple of occasions. I remember the James Madison game being the most specific, and you mentioned schematics today. Is the play calling something you feel comfortable with at this point of the year? You feel like it's gotten better?
Yeah, I think I've got complete trust in what we're doing from a play calling standpoint. Can we be more aggressive? Yes. I think if you've called plays and before, when you're struggling and you mess certain things up, you start going, God, what can we call this? We're not going to mess up. And you start becoming timid as a play caller, right? Because now you're trying not to put your guys in bad position to screw something up. instead of saying, hey, we're just gonna go out there and call what I know I feel confident in. But when you're struggling and you're not maybe executing the way you want, you start, I don't want to say panic, but you just start going, what can we run where we can't get a holding penalty, or we can't do this, or we can't do that. And you can't call games that way, and I've been in that situation before where I felt that way. And so I don't think it has anything. I think we've had opportunities to make some plays. Is there plays you wish you could call or should have called? Yeah, everybody has, those things. Man, I wish I'd have done this. But I think we've had opportunities. You go back and look. We've had opportunities to make more plays, and we've not done that. And so there's a combination of all that stuff. But in the day, we got to play call better. But also offensively, we got to execute better. There's plays to be made, and we don't make them. And then when you don't make them, play caller, you get a little nervous. Well, I can't make this one. What can we do? And it all. But I think we have an understanding. We've had meetings. We've looked at all those things, and you're like, hey, what can we do better? We're committed to doing those things better as far as offensive staff, and then as far as offensive players, what can we do better? They're committed to fixing those things. So hopefully you'll see us going in a better direction.
Because of that, do you feel like that you haven't, or I guess Willie, maybe be a better one to ask, but you might know too, you feel like that you really haven't been able to get into a rhythm at all in series?
Yeah, I think if you, what have we scored the last 3 weeks? Not a lot of points, right? And so I think anytime when you're not scoring a lot of points, that's a rhythm deal. Like, first you get a great kickoff, and we got a third and whatever play, and we got an opportunity to make a play. We don't necessarily make the best throw. Then you miss a kick, so you lose a little momentum there. You get a little drive. We had another little drive going, and then we get a little penalty. And so anytime that we've got something positive maybe happen, there seems like there's something that's taken some momentum away, and we've struggled to overcome that, right, from that standpoint. And so anytime that you're moving it and then you get a penalty or whatever happens, that rhythm gets that, and it's hard to get that back, especially when you have been struggling. And so I think that's part of it. We've just not been able to consistently over the last 3 weeks be able to put something together without something happening. You go back to Bowling Green, we had 14 points off the board there. Big touchdowns. We had a huge another play taken off for a penalty. All that's momentum, or can keep you in rhythm, and you're not able to do that, and you go off, and so that's that's happened the last 3 weeks where we've had some things, where we could create some momentum, create some positive, and we've not been able to do it. And so 4th and 2 the other day, we had a 3rd and 4, we don't get it. We get to 4th and 2, we don't get that 4. That's you get that. There's momentum, there's rhythm, and then you're playing again. Now you're down 14, and so it changes with who you have out there.
How involved do you get with the play calling within a game? Like what kind of uses as suggestions? Is it?
Yeah, mostly. I don't have tons. I let the guys do majority of most of that. Though if they ask my opinion, I'll give it. And there's certain times you might say, hey, let's think about this or this. But I try to stay out of it because they're focused on, they're studying, they're focused on what they feel is best, and they don't need me in their ear when they're trying to call a play and some of those things. But we'll have discussions, and hey, if I see something I think that could potentially work and some of those things, and we communicate basically every drive where I'm on the headset with them. I'm not calling, I'm listening, and in between series, hey, we'll talk through, hey, what do we see, what do we need to try to fix, and all those things.
How do you balance criticizing, critiquing, with also trying to make sure that you guys are mindful of where the confidence of the players are? And
criticizing as far as players?
As far
or coaches?
Players, as far as you with the coaches, and then your coaching staff with the players, pointing out areas that can be corrected, but also trying to make sure it gets them in the right headspace with where their confidence is.
Well, the blame of everything's on me. Ultimately, if anybody be criticized, I'm the head coach. I'm the one that's responsible for the 1-4 record, and so all that is more on me. From a coaching standpoint, what I look at, are we having our guys play with unbelievable effort? Are we preparing them? Are they playing with the details? Well, those are things that you challenge coaches on. From a player standpoint, the players are smart enough to know when they're not necessarily doing the things they need to do. They know that. So I don't know if there's any extra things that you have to say. Anything that if they're criticized or if there's criticism for them, that's obviously done in-house. But I would tell you, I believe confidently that our players know that way better than what our record shows. I think there's a confidence they have that if we can fix these things, that we can make a great run here in the conference. I believe there's a lot of confidence in that. What I challenge them on is our effort's been great. I don't think anybody in here would argue the effort we're playing with and how we're fighting. I told them, though, that doesn't matter if we just keep doing the same old, same old. That's the definition of insanity, right? And so they need to fix the things that are keeping us from winning these games. And so whether that's some missed assignments, whether that's not getting the proper rest off the field, whether that's not doing extra stuff, whatever it may be, those are the things that we challenge them on as far as the little details of what it means to be able to perform your best. And so, but overall criticism is all on me as that coach.
With UTEP,
I
are
don't know if that
they,
answered your question.
Yeah,
sorry, with UTEP, are they much different with 7 Nelson or 9 Locklear at quarterback?
I mean, they're going to run their schemes, and they do a good job with their schemes. They're going to try to go fast. They're going to try to get you some different formations. Both of them present challenges, obviously. One's really, really athletic, and so, but they both can move the ball, and so I don't know if our game plan will be much different depending on who's in there or not. Because what they're going to do is very similar. Now you might have if one's in there, you might have a certain different call on a certain down that you might, hey, this guy does this better on third down, so we need to take that away. But our defense preparing for them knows that basically what they're I don't say knowing exactly what they're going to do, but knows what they're trying to do from an offensive standpoint. So you got to make sure that we're just lined up, our feet in our cleats are in the ground, and that we're lining up to the formations and different things they give you with the speed that they play with.
Prognosis on Brylan Green?
We got some good news on him as far as there's no serious injury there. He'll be out for a little while, but depending on his recovery and his rehab and how everything goes, we expect to get him back at some point during the season. And so obviously don't anticipate the next 2 games, but you have this whole month there, and so hopefully if things go well with him, we get a good chance of getting him back by November.